Title: The Innocent Journey That Almost Broke Meth Crossroads to 016. Joy was only a teenager, barely in SS2, when life began to feel heavier than her shoulders could carry. Her mother, burdened with 7 children and no money for school fees, could only watch as the world seemed to close its doors. Her father had long left, and with no home of her own, Joy faced a choice she didn't want to make: stay with uncertainty or take a risk she barely understood. A friend's helping hand. Her best friend Biola saw the fear in Joy's eyes and offered a lifeline. Biola spoke to her mother and the man in her life, who suggested a solution: a pastor in Adowakiti who could take Joy in. "You'll work, you learn, and then you can continue school," they promised. Desperation pushed Joy to accept. She held onto the tiny hope that this was the chance she needed to survive and maybe even thrive. The first door. Joy and her mother arrived, hearts heavy yet full of hope. The first stop was a small bar where a woman sold beads. "You are too slim," the woman said sharply. "You have nothing to sell." "My child, you cannot stay here." Rejection stung. But there was still a faint light. Pastor B welcomed her into his home under the pretense of work as house help. The shadow behind the door. For 1 week, Joy tried to settle in, clinging to the hope that this was temporary. But soon, the house turned into a trap. Pastor B began making advances, crossing lines that Joy could never have imagined. The fear, the struggle, and the uncertainty pressed down on her like a storm with no end in sight. The shadow that would not let go. The nightmare deepened. Pastor B, a man who was also a teacher at Biola's school, crossed every boundary, making Joy a target of his abuse. Alone, trapped, and afraid. She carried a heavy secret, but she had one lifeline: her smartphone. A gift from her aunt in Lagos. She reached out to Biola, explaining the horrors that were happening. Yet even with the truth exposed, escape felt impossible. Endless work, no reward. Pastor B's wife, a kind and caring woman, offered some protection, but only when she was home. Joy started her first official work with a woman selling food, moving later to selling and attending to other jobs. Eventually, she worked in their foodstuff container, laboring tirelessly. Yet, no matter how hard she worked, all the money went to the household. Her mother received nothing, and Joy herself could not save. Her schooling stopped completely. The dream she had once clung to, the hope of continuing education, slipped further away, crying in silence. Every time Pastor B's wife traveled to Nairobi, Joy faced the terror alone. The molestation continued, and the physical abuse left marks not just on her body, but on her spirit. She cried, wept, and wondered if she would ever find safety. Her mother, concerned only with money, never intervened. Joy realized she had to protect herself, escape. By December 2016, the weight of her suffering became unbearable.